In this chapter, we're going to explore what is often one of the most critical, and let's be honest, most stressful parts of the entire software lifecycle, actually getting your code out there into the hands of your users. We're going to look at how you can transform software releases from these high-risk, adrenaline-fueled events into something that's reliable, automated, and maybe even a routine part of your day-to-day work. Just imagine a world where deploying code is as simple as pushing a button without all that late-night stress and worry. Okay, let's just start with this quote, because if you have ever pushed code to production, you know this feeling all too well, right? Your heart starts racing, your palms get a little sweaty, and you can't help but run through all the things that could possibly go wrong. It really does feel like walking a tightrope, where just one tiny mistake could bring the whole system crashing down. So, what's the answer here? Do we just need to be more careful? Well, not exactly. The real problem isn't usually the person, it's the process itself. It's fragile, and it's almost always prone to human error. The goal is to make deploying to production as, well, boring and predictable as we possibly can. And how do we do that? The answer is through automation and consistency. Now, the cornerstone of this modern, reliable approach to delivering software is something called the deployment pipeline. And this isn't just a tool or a piece of software. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about and ship our work. It's a workflow that automates the entire path from your computer to the end user. And that makes the whole process faster, safer, and way more reliable. As you can see here, the absolute key phrase is the same automated process. A deployment pipeline automates everything, from compiling the code all the way to deploying it into production. And what that means is you're using the exact same script and the exact same procedure for every single environment. And that completely eliminates that dreaded, well, it worked on my machine problem. So let's follow the journey of a single change as it moves through the pipeline. It all kicks off with a commit from a developer. From there, the pipeline automatically grabs the code, builds it, and runs all the initial unit tests. If everything passes, it gets deployed to a staging environment for even more testing. And then finally, after all the checks and approvals are done, it's deployed to production. You see, each step in this journey gives us more and more confidence in the quality of our code. A good way to think about the pipeline is as a series of stages, with these approval gates in between each one. A build that passes all the tests in a stage gets promoted to the next one. Now, what's so great about this? Well, it creates a self-service system. Testers and operations teams can just go to the pipeline, see which builds are approved, and deploy them with the push of a button. No more waiting around for developers. Okay, so we've got this powerful deployment pipeline. That's great. But before we actually start using it, we need a plan. A release strategy is basically the blueprint for our entire deployment process. It makes sure that everybody is on the same page and that we're using our automated system in the most effective way possible. A release strategy is not just some document you write once and then forget about. No, it's a living agreement between everyone involved, developers, operations, the business side. It's really a conversation that aligns everyone's expectations and ensures that there are no surprises when it's time to go live. You can think of it as the official rulebook for your application's entire life. So what actually goes into a release strategy? Well, as you can see, it covers everything from the tech you're going to use to who exactly is in charge of deployments. But it also forces you to think about the really tough questions. What happens if something goes wrong? What is your disaster recovery plan? Answering these questions up front is absolutely key to a smooth and successful release. All right, now that we have a solid foundation in place, we can start talking about some really cool stuff. I'm talking about zero-downtime releases. These are techniques that allow you to release brand new versions of your software without your users ever even knowing it happened. It's kind of the holy grail of software delivery. Okay, let's dive into the first technique, blue-green deployment. The idea here is to have two identical production environments. We'll just call them blue and green. So while all of your users are happily using the green environment, you can deploy your new code to the blue environment. It's kind of like having two stages at a concert. One band can be setting up their gear on one stage while the other one is actively in use. So how does this work in practice? Well, right now, all your user traffic is going to the green environment. You deploy your new code to the blue environment and test it as much as you need to. Then, when you're ready to release, you just flip a switch in your router and boom, all the traffic is instantly redirected to the blue environment. And the best part, if something goes wrong, you just flip the switch right back. It's that simple. Blue-green deployment is a fantastic way to reduce the risk of a bad release. But what if you want to be even more careful? Well, that's where canary releasing comes in. With this technique, the idea is to release a new version of your software to just a small subset of users before you roll it out to everyone. This small group of users acts as your canary in a coal mine, giving you an early warning if something isn't right. So how does this one work? You configure your router to send a tiny percentage of your traffic, let's say 1%, to the new canary version. The other 99% of users are still going to the stable version. This lets you collect real-world data on the new version's performance and stability before you commit to rolling it out to everyone. It is a great way to test new features and catch bugs super early. Now, canary releasing is a really powerful tool for reducing risk, but it's also so much more than that. You can use it for A/B testing, for capacity testing, and of course for super easy rollbacks. It's an incredibly flexible and versatile technique that can help you make better, data-driven product decisions and ultimately deliver a better experience to your users. So, we've talked about deployment pipelines, release strategies, blue-green deployment, and canary releasing. What's next? What's the ultimate goal of all this automation and risk reduction? Well, it's something called continuous deployment. Continuous deployment is a real game changer. It means that every single change that passes all of your automated tests is automatically deployed to production. There's no manual go button. It's a completely hands-off process from start to finish. I know what you might be thinking. That sounds incredibly risky. But here's the thing. It's actually less risky than traditional release methods. Why? Because you're releasing tiny, incremental changes. If something goes wrong, you know exactly what caused it, and you can fix it fast. But, as this quote says, you can't fake it. Continuous deployment requires a rock-solid pipeline and truly exceptional test automation. So what's the real takeaway here? Well, even if you can't or don't want to deploy every single commit, the goal is to build a process that is so reliable and so automated that you could. When you reach that point, that's when you'll be able to deliver value to your users faster, safer, and with a whole lot less stress. So I'd encourage you to start thinking about how you can apply these principles to your own work. The journey to a better deployment process really does start today.